So I'm like, this only makes him look bigger than he is. Because they're making this nigga look like he's a terrorist. Like, yo, if he comes to town, the murder rate is going crazy.
You won't believe what just went down. NBA Youngboy finally spoke up about being banned from Louisiana, and he's furious about it. Word on the street is the feds pulled up to his New Orleans shows thinking his rivals were about to roll through strapped up. Can you believe that? And here's the wild twist. Youngboy saw it coming. He knew they'd try to shut him down, so he decided to go out with a bang. That solo walk through Bourbon Street on his birthday, that wasn't random. That was his way of saying, I can't be controlled. No security, no backup, just him making a statement to the whole system trying to hold him back. But this goes deeper than just one artist getting banned. This whole situation shows how Louisiana treats young black men who don't bow down. And if you look closer, it's straight up corruption hiding behind law and order. To really understand this, you gotta go back to October 2024 when Youngboy announced he was finally returning home to Louisiana after 7 long years. This wasn't just another concert. It was his homecoming, his 26th birthday celebration, his victory lap after everything they put him through. But the second those shows were announced, the whole Louisiana establishment freaked out, especially Police Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick. She's been trying to keep urban artists out of New Orleans for years. This the same woman who helped block Lil Wayne from performing at the Super Bowl in his own city. Can you imagine? According to people close to Youngboy's camp, they knew from the start the police never wanted those shows to happen. The city was already broke, struggling to pay workers, yet somehow found the funds to send 400 extra cops for just 2 concerts. Something wasn't adding up. That's when Youngboy's team realized it wasn't about safety. It was about power. They were sending a clear message. Successful black men from the trenches ain't welcome back home. But wait till you hear this. It gets even crazier. Word is, the feds showed up claiming they got intel that Youngboy's rivals were sliding to the show strapped with heavy weapons. They even said people from Chicago were rolling down to start a war. Sounds wild, right? But the truth, it was all smoke and mirrors. The feds were spreading fake info to local police just to stir panic. They told New Orleans PD that Kodak Black's people were coming to start chaos, warning of shootouts and bloodbaths, none of it real. Not one credible threat existed from Chicago, Kodak's crew, or anybody else. This was straight psychological warfare. The feds trying to scare the city into canceling the shows, or making them so pricey that Youngboy couldn't afford to perform. But his team wasn't backing down. They paid over $400,000 per show in extra security just to prove a point. Like, you want to play games? We'll still show up. Youngboy's team said, we got money to play too. And they proved it. Both shows went down smooth with 0 major incidents, exposing how fake all those security threats really were. Over 17,000 fans packed in each night, and the worst thing that happened was a few folks trying to sneak in, or some crowd scuffles, regular concert stuff. But the police and media tried to twist the story like it was chaos. They even claimed there was a gunshot during one show when it was just stage equipment being packed up. Every little thing got exaggerated to make it seem like Youngboy brought trouble. Meanwhile, he was backstage chilling, performing, staying out of drama, and showing love to the fans that been with him since day one. No issues, no wild behavior, just pure energy and success on display. But the system had already made up its mind. They were gonna find any reason to block him from performing again, even if that meant creating fake headlines. And that's when Youngboy finally hit his breaking point. After his second show, on his 26th birthday no less, he heard Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick was already plotting to ban him again, before anything even went down. So he said, forget it, and hit Bourbon Street alone. No security, no crew, just him walking through New Orleans like a regular dude, showing he's not scared of anybody. That walk through Bourbon Street wasn't some random move. It was calculated. People close to Youngboy's camp said he knew exactly what he was doing. He wanted to prove a point, that all those security threats were fake and that the people still had love for him. And guess what? He was right. Thousands of fans flooded Bourbon Street, but it wasn't chaos. It was celebration. Folks were screaming his name, snapping pictures, and showing nothing but respect. The vibe was pure love, not violence. The police ended up pulling him out only because the crowd got too big, not because he was in danger. And here's where things get messy. The money. Those Louisiana officials were heated once they saw how much cash his shows brought in. The Smoothie King Center made millions. Hotels were packed. Restaurants booming. The whole city was eating. But the government didn't plan right, so they missed out on a big payday. According to insiders, Youngboy's 2 shows sparked over $1.25 billion in economic activity. But the city barely broke even after blowing money on extra security. They paid 400 cops overtime just to flex control over one artist. And here's the kicker. Youngboy himself covered most of those security costs out of his own pocket. Imagine paying hundreds of thousands just to perform in your own home state, and they still found a reason to complain. At the end of the day, it wasn't about safety or rules. It was about control. Youngboy represented everything the system couldn't tame. Here's the truth. Youngboy came from the roughest parts of Louisiana, faced everything the system threw his way, and still rose higher than most of the politicians trying to hold him back. The day after his iconic birthday walk, his manager Alex Jr. dropped a bomb on social media, saying Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick told them Youngboy was banned from performing in Louisiana for as long as she's in charge. He even posted, "Shout out to Twinkie for telling us we're never allowed to perform in Louisiana again after these 2 shows." Wild, right? But here's what they don't want people to realize. A city police superintendent can't legally ban an artist from an entire state. That's not how the law works. What actually went down is deeper. Kirkpatrick started leaning on venues and promoters, warning them about sky-high security costs and possible police trouble if they booked Youngboy. It's the same shady tactic used against other successful black artists. They can't officially ban you, so they make it too expensive to perform. They called it public safety, but it's really systematic control, trying to silence a man they can't control. Insiders say Kirkpatrick was plotting the ban before the shows even happened, just waiting for a reason. When Youngboy walked through Bourbon Street, she twisted it into an excuse, saying he was reckless and a threat. But the real issue? His success exposed how the system holds other young people back, and guess what? Youngboy's not letting it slide. Sources say he's already linking up with federal civil rights lawyers, gearing up to hit the city and state with discrimination lawsuits. His team's claiming this so-called ban violates his constitutional rights, free speech, and equal protection. Youngboy's team got receipts. Real proof showing that white artists with similar or even worse records performed in Louisiana without extra security or government drama. So why the double standard? That's the question his lawyers are pressing right now. And that's not all. Youngboy's planning to file official complaints with the Department of Justice over how the FBI spread false info to local cops just to justify that massive security response. If they can prove federal agents faked those threats, that's a major civil rights violation, one that could cost the government millions in damages. But here's where things get powerful. Youngboy's turning all this into a movement. Sources say he's working on a documentary exposing systematic oppression in Louisiana, showing how public safety is often used as a cover to silence successful black voices. This goes way deeper than just one artist getting banned. It's about a system built to tear down young black men who refuse to bow down. They can't lock him up anymore. He's been beating his cases and keeping clean, so now they're trying to kill his career through money games and politics. Think about it. Youngboy is one of the biggest artists on the planet, creating jobs and pumping millions into Louisiana's economy. That's something the state should celebrate. But instead, they're pushing him out because they can't control his message. And here's the crazy part. The same police chief banning Youngboy is the same one who helped block Lil Wayne from performing at the Super Bowl in his own city. That's no coincidence. It's a pattern, a power move to keep successful black artists from inspiring the next generation. And now the Fed's role makes the whole thing even more serious. The FBI showing up to Youngboy's concerts with fake intel about threats is a straight-up abuse of power, and it needs to be investigated. Sources say the Fed's been tailing him city to city, dropping the same false stories about possible violence just to get his shows shut down. That's not law enforcement. That's harassment aimed at breaking his career. What's wild is how they twist things. They even dragged Kodak Black's name into it, claiming his people were coming to cause trouble, all just to make local cops panic. They play on rap beefs to justify overreach, knowing police will overreact. But when not a single thing they warned about actually happened, no fights, no shots, no chaos, it proved they'd been lying the whole time. And here's the craziest part. By banning Youngboy, Louisiana is hurting its own economy just to make a political statement. His shows brought millions to New Orleans. Hotels packed, restaurants booming, jobs created, and they still said no. Instead of admitting they were wrong, they'd rather lose money to save face. That's the same backwards thinking that keeps Louisiana stuck at the bottom when it comes to opportunity. Meanwhile, Youngboy's already planning to take his tour to Texas, Georgia, Florida, and everywhere else that knows how to appreciate success and economic growth. But this isn't just about money, it's about control. It's about silencing powerful black voices and twisting the story of what success looks like in the streets. They don't just want to stop the music, they want to control the message. Youngboy stands as a symbol of hope for every young person coming from the same struggle he did. So when Louisiana bans him from performing in his own state, the message is clear. No matter how far you make it, if you don't play by their rules, they'll find a way to knock you down. That's not just unfair, that's dangerous. This isn't about one rapper, it's about the right of black artists to tell their stories, celebrate success, and inspire the next generation. When they hide behind public safety to silence those voices, what they're really doing is trying to control the narrative about what's possible for people who come from the bottom. Now let's talk legal game. Youngboy's team is building a serious case around constitutional and civil rights violations. They're saying the so-called ban breaks his First Amendment right to free expression and his 14th Amendment right to equal protection under the law. And they've got evidence, proof that the security demands put on Youngboy were way beyond anything asked of white artists with similar or worse records. That's exactly the kind of double standard civil rights laws are meant to stop. And with the FBI's involvement spreading false info, this case just got even heavier. If his team proves that federal agents played dirty, that's a massive civil rights violation, one that could change policy and cost millions in damages. Bottom line, Youngboy ain't backing down. He's got the money, the lawyers, and the voice to expose how deep this corruption runs. Louisiana thought they could scare him into silence, but they messed with the wrong one. This case might just rewrite how black success is treated by law enforcement and government forever. If Youngboy wins this civil rights case, it's gonna shake the whole country. Cities and states won't be able to hide behind public safety to discriminate against black entertainers anymore. That loophole's about to close for good. The wild part? By trying to silence him, they actually gave Youngboy an even bigger platform to expose the truth. His upcoming documentary on systematic oppression in Louisiana is gonna hit millions of screens, showing exactly how they treat successful black men who refuse to bow down. That birthday walk through Bourbon Street wasn't just a party, it was a message. He was showing that he belongs in Louisiana just like anybody else, and the fact that officials tried to twist that moment of love and pride into a reason to ban him shows just how broken their priorities are. But this fight, it's far from over. Youngboy's ready to take it all the way to the Supreme Court if that's what it takes. And when he wins, because let's be real, he's got the resources, the lawyers, and the drive. It's gonna change how the system treats black artists forever. So what do you think? Will Youngboy win this case against Louisiana? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because this story is just getting started. And the system might have tried to break him, but all they did was make him stronger and louder than ever.